kiddos, it's Bonus Mom here. I did a live stream recently where I showed you how to make a plastic tote bag out of plastic shopping bags. This is my example. I've had this bag for something like 23 years, and everything in this particular bag came from a shopping bag. How did I do this? I'm going to show you. I made myself some plastic yarn, okay? I got some shopping bags, and usually they come from the grocery store like this. The first thing I do is try to turn this shopping bag back into what it looked like when it came from the grocery store. Okay? And then I fold it over once, and then I fold it over one more time. Get it nice and flat. I grab myself a pair of scissors, and I start at the end of the bag, and I clip off the connection at the end of the bag. Then, for how I do it, I cut these things in something like 1.25 to 1.5 inch strips. I just eyeball it. I get anywhere from 6 to 7 to 8 strips a bag. If I'm doing a lot of these at once, I tend to save these parts and I'll recycle that. What I end up with are loops. Okay? Consider the loops as two big rubber bands. Have you ever connected two rubber bands? You put one loop over top of the other loop, and then you reach underneath and you pull. It knots in the middle, and you have the beginnings of plarn. And you just keep doing it. I put one loop over top the other loop. And then I reach under and I pull it, handling it kind of gently. Sometimes your knots don't tighten up really closely. You can gently tug a little bit and they'll tighten up on you. And away I go. I'm making plastic yarn, otherwise known as plarn. It takes, for an average tote bag, something like 150 to 200 bags. So you're going to be doing this for a good long while. I tend to make the bags that I make out of half double crochets. You can get 3 stitches out of one loop. So that gives you an idea of just how many shopping bags you're going to need. So I've made myself a ball of plastic yarn or plarn, and I'm getting ready to begin my bag. For me, for what's comfortable for me, I tend to use a K-hook or a 6.5 millimeter hook. You can pick whatever is comfortable for you. Because there's already a loop in the end of my plarn, then I just make a loop. Wrap it around my finger, make a loop, but I try to pull it through. It's hard to do so you can see it. So my loop is pretty dang small. I want my crochet hook to fit through it, but I want it kind of tight. For a normal size tote bag, I would probably crochet about 18 chain stitches. Trying to get my needle on here. So I'm going to chain 18 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As you can see, actually, even with the knots in it, this plarn slides past my needle, my hook, fairly easily. I don't need any. Okay. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, come on now, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so the base of my bag is going to start with 18 stitches, 8 on either side. Okay, now I'm going to chain 2 more, and that counts as my first half double crochet stitch. Then I'm going to do a half double crochet 2 stitches away in the second stitch away from right in here, the second stitch away from my hook. And I'm going to do another double crochet. That puts 2 double crochets in that first loop. Then I'm going to crochet all the way down the other side, the first side. I'm doing half double crochets. The bag that I showed you was single crochets. You can also do can do full double crochets if you like. However, for a tote bag, sometimes if you do double crochets with this plarn, you have a greater risk of something falling through the hole in the bottom of the bag. A dime or a nickel or a ballpoint pen, something like that. So basically, I'm just going down the first side of the bag with half double crochets. It's always awkward for me when I first get started, but you know what? As you do it, you'll get a little bit more fluid with it. Always pick a hook. I always say needle. Always pick a hook that's comfortable, that you can make it, loose, but it's gonna hang together, just whatever you're comfortable working with. See how it's coming along? Sometimes I stop and kind of pull on it. Your stitches are not going to be pretty and uniform because you're working with something you cut with your hands and you didn't measure. But I promise, in the end of the tote bag, that really won't matter. You'll have something handy and something that will last for a really long time. These gray bags that I'm using are the ubiquitous Walmart bags. When I really was doing this full time, I had people from all over the place saving for me every pretty shopping bag they ever got. That can kind of be fun. Okay, I'm down to the original loop that I started the whole process with. Remember that loop right there? That's my last one. I'm going to put 3 half double crochets in this loop. In the same loop, I'm going 1, maybe I'm going 1, 1, 2, it's always awkward when I start. I apologize for that. 2 and 3. That's what's going to make the bottom of my bag get bigger as I go along. Sometimes you kind of get big holes. It'll pull a funny way or whatever. If that really bothers you, just when you're done, go get yourself another piece of plastic, put it through there and tie the thing together and it'll work fine. Now I'm going to crochet all the way down the other side. Probably not going to keep you on here while I do that. And then I'll do one more stitch in the bottom of where I started before, where I already have 2 stitches. Then I'm going to do 4 or 5 rows of this, and on either end I'm going to match them. I probably will add 3 more stitches in the next row. I will probably add 6 more stitches in the row after that till I get the base of my bag the size that I want. This is the one that I've started that's a special order, and you can see the bottom. See that? That actually has 5 rows where I've added stitches at either end. Bonus Mom, how do I know how many stitches to put where? Find yourself a tote bag pattern online if you have any questions. There are hundreds of them. And just do what they say in the pattern. The only thing that you have to remember is this plarn crochets big like the way chunky yarn would. So you'll have to adjust the number of stitches that you do. That's it, folks. It's not any harder than this. Hope to see you again next time. I'm going to tell you how to take a used plastic tablecloth and make strips that you put together on that, and then you can add some colors to your bags. Good luck!